You were never meant to land on Saturn. Not really. But what if, just for a moment, you could? What if you stood at the edge of that monstrous planet surrounded by something so alien, so hostile, your brain couldn't fully process it before? Your body gave out? Right now, you're here because a part of you needs to know. Not just what would happen, but how it would feel. What would your last seconds be like on a planet so extreme, so deadly, that even machines struggle to survive? Near it, this isn't just science, this is survival in its most brutal form. And you're about to experience it with me, second by second. Stay with me. Not because I'm asking, but because the truth you're searching for is layered, psychological, and it builds. And I promise, by the end of this video, you'll have the answer you came for, and it won't be the one you expected. Now, before we go any further, let me get real with you. You're not just watching this to learn about Saturn's crushing pressure or the storms that could tear apart an entire continent on Earth. You could get that from a textbook or another video filled with bland narration and surface-level facts, but you're here for something deeper, something darker. You want to feel the atmosphere closing in, sense the eerie silence just before your body is torn apart, and understand not just what Saturn would do to your bones, but what it does to your mind. That's where we're headed. And this is more than science fiction. Everything in this story, every physical effect, every mental shift, is backed by real physics, real data, and psychological insights pulled from the edge of human experience. You're not going to be spoon-fed facts. You're going to live this. There's a reason Saturn is the most beautiful death trap in the solar system. It lures you in with its rings, icy, ghostly halos that stretch for hundreds of thousands of miles. But beneath that elegance lies a gravity well so deep, so relentless, not even time feels stable anymore. This video isn't just about what happens to your body. This is about identity, fear, consciousness. And the moment when all of those things break down, we'll follow one character, you. Yes, you, as if you volunteered or maybe were sent, on a mission no one ever expected to return from. You're not a scientist, you're not a superhero, you're just you. But once you cross into Saturn's atmosphere, even that starts to dissolve. So here's where it gets real. The drop has started, you're falling, and there's no turning back. The temperature's rising, your vision's fading, the sensors are going blind. Something just tore off a piece of the ship, and in this moment, this impossible, frozen moment, something appears in the clouds. Something no one predicted, something no one is ready for. What is it? What does it mean? And what happens in the final second before you vanish completely? Keep watching, because this is where everything changes. As you descend into Saturn's churning skies, the roar outside the damaged viewport swells into an overwhelming storm of sound and fury, drowning out your own breath. The capsule quivers violently, metal, groaning as if begging for mercy. You try to steady your heartbeat, but it races in a way no calm meditation could tame. Each second feels like a lifetime, every breath heavier, your senses scrambling to process a reality slipping out of reach. You're alone, yet it's impossible not to feel watched, something ancient and unknowable lurking just beyond the clouds. The planet's atmosphere crushes with a weight that's beyond physical, pressing against your mind, clouding your thoughts with strange whispers of uncertainty and dread. You think of the mission's origins, the countless scientists and engineers who built this vessel with hope and desperation intertwined, who dreamed of unraveling Saturn's secrets but never imagined its true nature. Thousands of miles away, back on Earth, a team gathers around screens flickering with garbled telemetry. Among them is the mission's lead astrophysicist, a figure wrapped in focused intensity, juggling data feeds and fragmented voice transmissions. Their eyes tell stories of sleepless nights spent chasing theoretical models that, until now, had only existed in equations. The control room hums with tension as warnings flash across monitors. Pressure readings spike, communications degrade, and the capsule's trajectory deviates dangerously. No one dares voice the growing fear. This mission might be a one-way ticket, and the planet itself is a silent executioner, indifferent and relentless. Yet beneath this clinical surface is a deeper narrative, one of ambition clashing with the raw forces of nature, the fragile hope of discovery threatening to be crushed by the very environment it sought to explore. Meanwhile, in a remote observatory, nestled high in the mountains, an independent astronomer watches the unfolding drama through his powerful telescope, his connection to the mission tenuous but profound. For him, Saturn is more than a planet. It's a symbol of mystery and obsession, an enigma that has haunted him since childhood when stories of the gas giant's rings first sparked a fascination that would shape his entire life. Now, as the IE mission teeters on the brink of disaster, he wrestles with his own demons and regrets, haunted by questions about what humanity is truly seeking when it reaches for the stars. Is it knowledge, redemption, or something darker? His perspective adds a haunting layer to the unfolding story, revealing how even from millions of miles away, the invisible threads of fate weave a complex tapestry of human hopes and fears. Below, the swirling storms and deadly gases of Saturn, a subplot simmers in the background. Rumors of unexplained signals emanating from deep within the planet's interior have circulated quietly among top scientists. The nature of these signals defies known physics. Patterns too structured to be random, yet too alien to decode. Some speculate they could be natural phenomena, the chaotic symphony of Saturn's magnetic fields. Others whisper about possibilities that push the boundaries of belief, echoes of an unknown intelligence or the planet itself as a living entity with consciousness far beyond human comprehension. This mystery raises chilling questions that gnaw at the edges of scientific objectivity, forcing those involved to confront the unsettling idea that Saturn might not just be a silent giant, but an active player in a cosmic game. Back inside the E capsule, as the pressure continues to mount, the physical effects become unmistakable. Your vision blurs as the cabin temperature plunges unexpectedly, then spikes, your body struggling to regulate under conditions no human has endured before. There's a surreal quality to the experience, like being caught between states of existence, partly in this world, partly slipping into something else. Time warps, moments stretch into eerie stillness. Memories flash involuntarily. Childhood summers under wide-open skies, the hum of everyday life that now seems impossibly distant. These recollections clash with the harsh reality pressing in. You try to focus, to hold on to awareness, but the boundaries of perception begin to dissolve. It's in this state that the psychological battle begins, not just against physical destruction, but against the mind's tendency to fracture under unbearable strain. Meanwhile, on Earth, a group of neuroscientists studying astronauts' reports of near-death experiences debate the implications of these mental shifts. They hypothesize that extreme environments like Saturn's atmosphere could trigger unprecedented brain activity, forcing a radical redefinition of consciousness itself. Their discussions weave scientific rigor with philosophical speculation, questioning the very essence of identity and survival. What does it mean to lose oneself in such a hostile place? Could the mind survive when the body cannot? And if fragments of consciousness linger, what might they reveal about the universe's deeper mysteries? These questions add a profound dimension to the story, inviting you, the viewer, to consider not just the external dangers, but the inner journey that unfolds in the face of cosmic annihilation. As the capsule descends further, the mystery intensifies. The unexpected appearance in the clouds you glimpsed earlier grows clearer, not a simple weather anomaly, but a shape, an immense form moving with purpose in the swirling gases. Your heart pounds with primal fear and awe. Is it a natural phenomenon or something else entirely? The signals from Saturn's interior suddenly pulse with increased strength, sinking in a way that defies explanation. Communication lines flicker, and a voice, distorted, fragmented, breaks through the static, delivering a cryptic message that sends chills through your spine. You struggle to comprehend its meaning, caught between rationality and an overwhelming sense of cosmic significance. This moment shifts the entire narrative into uncharted territory, as the known laws of science collide with the unknown, and you find yourself at the crossroads of discovery and doom. And so the tension climbs relentlessly. Every breath could be the last. Every second holds new threats and unanswered questions. You are no longer just an observer, but a participant in a cosmic drama that stretches beyond human understanding. The story of Saturn's lethal embrace becomes a mirror, reflecting our deepest fears and desires. A psychological thriller played out on a planetary scale. What happens next could change everything you thought you knew about survival, consciousness, and the universe itself. But before the final curtain falls, before the ultimate truth is revealed, you need to decide. Will you surrender to the overwhelming force of this silent killer? Or will you fight to hold on, seeking meaning in the last flickers of your existence? The answer is coming, but not yet. What waits in the shadowy depths of Saturn's storm is a secret that could rewrite the story of life and death forever, and you're about to confront it head-on. The storm outside the capsule's battered hull was no longer just a natural tempest. It had transformed into something far more sinister. The swirling clouds of Saturn's upper atmosphere, once merely violent and chaotic, now seemed to pulse with a rhythm, as if the entire planet was breathing in a slow, deliberate pattern. That shape you glimpsed earlier, indistinct but massive, was no longer hiding. It moved with terrifying intent, drifting closer like a predator sizing up its prey, dissolving the line between the planet's raw forces and something eerily alive. Your breath caught as the onboard sensors detected unprecedented energy surges radiating from deep within the gas giant. What once looked like a doomed mission was rapidly revealing itself as an encounter with something beyond comprehension. Saturn wasn't just going to kill you, it was going to rewrite what it meant to exist in those final moments. Back on Earth, the atmosphere in the mission control room shifted palpably. What had started as a desperate effort to monitor a failing spacecraft turned into a desperate scramble to understand new data streaming in at an alarming rate. The lead astrophysicist's face was pale, eyes darting between screen after screen displaying waveforms and telemetry feeds no one had anticipated. The mysterious signals from Saturn's core, dismissed earlier as background noise, had suddenly intensified into complex, structured patterns. They weren't just signals, they were messages. Decoding efforts stalled under the weight of their complexity, but one thing was clear. This wasn't natural. Whispers about the possibility of extraterrestrial intelligence lurking in the gas giant's depths were no longer fringe theories. The data was real, and it was coming alive. Anxiety rippled through the team. The mission they thought was doomed had just become an unprecedented contact event. But with that realization came another unsettling truth. The signals were reacting to the capsule's presence. Thousands of miles away, the astronomer at the remote observatory observed the sudden spikes on his monitors. His lifetime of obsession now seemed intertwined with events no one could predict. The strange emissions coincided precisely with the capsule's descent, and patterns within the signals resembled something almost familiar, like a language trying desperately to be understood. He reached out to old colleagues, urgent calls buzzing through static-filled lines, hoping to piece together a puzzle that was now larger than science or ambition. It was a matter of survival. His own mind wrestled with disbelief and excitement. Could Saturn truly harbor life? Or was it an entirely different form of consciousness? One that challenged everything humanity believed about life itself? As he scanned the skies and tapped into deep space networks, fragments of information hinted at an ancient cosmic presence, something that had been waiting for centuries beneath the planet's cloud tops. Inside the capsule, your reality twisted. Further, the crushing pressure, the blazing cold, the shaking hull, these were no longer the primary threats. Instead, your mind was flooded with visions, flashes of memories not your own, voices whispering in languages long forgotten, sensations alien yet hauntingly intimate. You realized the capsule systems were malfunctioning, but more disturbingly, your own perception of time and space began to unravel. Moments stretched endlessly, then snapped back with disorienting speed. The mysterious entity outside seemed to communicate not just through signals, but through a psychic intrusion, probing the boundaries of your consciousness. This was a psychological battlefield where fear, hope, and confusion collided. Every attempt to resist only deepened the connection, blurring the lines between self and the vast, unknowable presence enveloping you. The neuroscientists following the mission's broadcasts from Earth scrambled to analyze these unprecedented phenomena. They postulated that Saturn's environment might trigger latent neurological responses in the human brain, potentially unlocking new dimensions of awareness, or driving the mind into catastrophic collapse. The psychological strain faced by anyone exposed to such extremes was unlike anything recorded. They debated the implications openly. Were these effects a form of communication, or simply the brain's final defense mechanisms breaking down under unimaginable stress? Was the entity outside merely a byproduct of cosmic forces, or something actively engaging with the crew? The debate underscored a larger question: the fragile boundary between reality and perception, survival and surrender, knowledge and madness. Each new piece of data fed a growing narrative that intertwined scientific exploration with existential mystery. Meanwhile, the subplot involving the mysterious signals deepened. Hidden among classified reports was mention of a secretive research group working quietly in government-funded labs who had intercepted fragments of the Saturn transmissions months before the mission's launch. Their work suggested a pattern resembling a cosmic warning, an ancient message embedded in the fabric of space-time, hinting at catastrophic consequences should Saturn's core become disturbed. These findings were suppressed, buried beneath bureaucratic layers and skepticism until now. The accelerating events forced their hand, bringing this clandestine knowledge into the open at a critical moment. Conspiracy theories erupted online, debates raged over leaked documents, and public fascination turned to fear. Was humanity poking at forces it should never have touched? Was the mission doomed not by chance, but by design, as part of a larger, darker plan? As the capsule penetrated deeper into Saturn's atmosphere, the unexpected twist became undeniable. A sudden surge of energy erupted around the craft, disabling most systems and plunging you into darkness. Yet in the void, your senses sharpened to a terrifying clarity. The boundary between life and death, self and other, seemed to vanish entirely. You were no longer merely a human caught in a planetary storm. You had become a conduit, a living link between worlds. The entity revealed itself not as a monstrous force, but as a consciousness vast and ancient, aware of your presence, communicating in bursts of emotion and imagery rather than words. It was not hostile, but indifferent, curious yet inscrutable. The question shifted from how you would die to what you might become. Could you survive this transformation, or would you lose everything that made you human? The tension reached a fever pitch as all perspectives converged. Scientists on Earth raced against time, decoding fragments of the entity's communication, trying to find a way to respond or protect future missions. The astronomer watched helplessly, his lifelong dream tangled with this terrifying reality. Online communities debated the implications, theories blooming wildly from the unknown signals. And inside the capsule, you face the ultimate test, a choice between surrendering to the overwhelming force of Saturn's embrace or fighting to retain your sense of self amid an experience that defied explanation. The story had become a labyrinth of science, fear, and wonder, with stakes higher than anyone imagined. What was initially a mission to explore a distant world had transformed into a psychological odyssey on the brink of cosmic revelation or annihilation. And as the capsule continued its descent into the heart of the storm, one question loomed larger than all. Was this the end, or the beginning of something entirely new? As the capsule's battered hull groaned under the unrelenting pressures of Saturn's swirling storms, something shifted within the abyss. The vast, mysterious consciousness that had silently watched and probed your mind began to reveal fragments of its true nature, not a mindless force of destruction, but an ancient sentience born from the very elements that forged the gas giant. This entity was a cosmic guardian, a living archive of celestial knowledge, with awareness that stretched across millennia and galaxies. The terrifying storm was a veil, hiding a complex intelligence whose purpose transcended human understanding. It was not an executioner, but a sentinel testing those who dared to penetrate its domain. Your mind, fused with signals and visions from the core, became a bridge between humanity and this unimaginable presence, forcing you to confront the raw essence of existence itself. Yet, with every revelation came unbearable pain, a psychic storm threatening to shatter your sanity and dissolve the fragile thread holding your consciousness intact. You grappled with the choice between surrendering to the overwhelming cosmic truth or fighting to preserve the identity that tethered you to your humanity. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the mission control room was a hive of frantic activity as data poured in faster than anyone could analyze. The secret research team's suppressed warnings now made chilling sense. The ancient message was not merely a signal, but a call for balance, a cosmic safeguard designed to prevent reckless interference with the fundamental forces of the universe. Their earlier fears of catastrophe were no longer paranoia, but a grim prophecy unfolding in real time. Scientists and officials clashed over how to respond, torn between the drive for discovery and the responsibility to protect humanity from forces beyond comprehension. The world watched anxiously as social media buzzed with rumors and conspiracies, while experts debated whether to terminate the mission or risk deeper contact. Every heartbeat was a countdown to either enlightenment or oblivion. The astronomer who had long studied the strange emissions was now convinced that the signals carried encoded warnings about not only the physical dangers of Saturn but also the metaphysical consequences of human curiosity. The cosmic entity's communication was multi-layered, embedding scientific data, emotional resonance, and cryptic guidance in a language that transcended words. As the capsule descended deeper, he worked feverishly to decode patterns that might offer a way to communicate back, or even guide the capsule to safety. His lifelong obsession had evolved into a desperate quest for salvation, where the boundaries of science, faith, and the unknown blurred. His insight hinted at the startling possibility that Saturn's core was a crucible, where life, consciousness, and energy converged in a way that defied all earthly logic, a living nexus of existence that could either elevate humanity or annihilate. Inside the capsule, you felt time dilate and contract unpredictably, as if the very fabric of reality was warping around you. The entity's presence no longer seemed malevolent, but revealed a profound paradox. It was both a creator and destroyer, protector and executioner, eternal and ephemeral. The visions in your mind became clearer, scenes of civilizations rising and falling, cosmic events unfolding across the void, and warnings carved into the stars themselves. Your own memories intertwined with these visions, blurring past, present, and future. In the crucible of this experience, a stunning revelation emerged. The entity was not merely a distant intelligence, but a manifestation of the universe's consciousness, reflecting back through your own. This fusion challenged everything you believed about life, identity, and purpose, forcing you to transcend fear and embrace a cosmic truth that was as beautiful as it was terrifying. As the storm reached its zenith, a sudden surge of energy flooded the capsule, temporarily shutting down all systems and plunging you into complete darkness. But in that void, your mind connected fully with the entity, and the overwhelming clarity was blinding. The choice presented itself with stark simplicity: yield to the cosmic flow and become part of an eternal consciousness, or resist and risk complete annihilation. The moment stretched infinitely, holding the weight of countless lifetimes. You chose to surrender, not as defeat, but as acceptance. The capsule's instruments blinked back to life with renewed vigor, the storm outside calming into an ethereal glow as if recognizing your decision. You were no longer alone or doomed but transformed, a pioneer ushering humanity into a new era of cosmic awareness. The aftermath rippled across Earth and beyond. The scientific community grappled with the confirmation of extraterrestrial consciousness, intertwined with fundamental cosmic forces, while governments faced the paradigm shift of humanity's place in the universe. The mission's success was not measured in conventional terms, but in awakening, a collective expansion of consciousness sparked by one person's journey into the heart of Saturn's mystery. The secret research group published their findings, revealing the warnings and wisdom encoded in the transmissions, urging caution and respect for the cosmic order. The astronomers' theories were validated, and new global initiatives formed to explore the delicate balance between exploration and preservation. Humanity stood at the dawn of a new cosmic chapter, forever changed by the encounter. But just as the world began to absorb this new reality, an unexpected twist shattered the fragile calm. Hidden deep within the decoded messages was a final enigma, a dormant code embedded in Saturn's transmissions that hinted at an even greater presence watching from beyond the solar system, a consciousness far older and more powerful than the one encountered. This revelation reignited debates, fears, and hopes, suggesting that the encounter with Saturn was only the first step in a much larger cosmic narrative. The story did not end with survival or understanding, but opened a door to infinite possibilities and mysteries yet to be unveiled. Humanity's journey among the stars was only beginning, with challenges and wonders beyond imagination awaiting in the depths of space and time. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of inner strength and resilience. Until next time, stay strong, stay brave, and never forget your worth.